case was open, but the case is now closed for Dan Casey as we put it up to you guys, the followers of Fog Football, with 1.6 thousand of yous voting. Should he have been sent off for his challenge on Ross McCausland, with 72% of the folk going with yes, and 28% of the folk going for no. Now, I'll be fair, most of the guys voting yes would be Rangers supporters, but let's be honest here, 72% of 1.6 thousand is quite a lot. It's almost 3/4. And I think there's going to be a decent portion of people voting in this that aren't Rangers voters that are supporting the yes vote. Not quite the independent vote, is it? But in all seriousness, I'm probably the only Rangers fan out there that thought this wasn't a red. Because I think if you give this a red, the game is gone. I've already talked about this on my channel. I've talked about it here. But the poll results are in. And I think 72% is a joke. I actually think it should be flipped the other way about. Dan Casey wins the ball and barely skims McCausland. I think this was reactionary. I was in the stadium at the time. You'd have thought there was a murder. Did he have to get subbed off McCausland? Absolutely. But did he feature against Benfica and all is okay? Yes. So
yeah, you're right. I just refused to... What's the poll percentage for the yes?
72%.
Right, 72%. I'm going to assume most of that is Rangers fans. I refuse to believe that they would be saying this is a red card if Dan Casey was a Rangers player making a tackle against a Motherwell player. Now, people will recall the Sterling incident and say, well, Sterling got sent off. Well, here's the thing. I remember a lot of Rangers fans, pretty much every single Rangers fan at the time, including you, saying that Sterling one wasn't a red card. So, first, it's not like you all agreed that Sterling getting sent off was the right decision. I don't know one Rangers fan that actually says Sterling's red card was a red card. So therefore, you didn't think Sterling's red was a red. People were saying this is way worse than Sterling's. I mean, is it really? It's not. I mean, Dan Casey gets to the ball way before McCausland does. Sterling was late. By the time Sterling actually made contact, the ball was already booted away. So Sterling was super late with his challenge. Sterling didn't win the ball. He got nothing on the ball. Dan Casey not only won the ball, he was pretty much the only player that made an attempt to get the ball. He got to the ball so quickly. He got to the ball so early that McCausland wasn't even in a position to challenge for it. And he pulls his studs out, and his studs don't make any sort of connection with McCausland, and it ends up he just makes contact with his knee. It's like a knee-on collision with the follow-through, whereas Sterling actually stamped down with his studs unintentionally, but he stamped down on the Aberdeen player and caught him. So, I mean, there's three key reasons why this one wasn't as bad as the Sterling tackle. So, I don't see how it's a red. I really fucking don't. People are saying, well, he made contact. Look, guys, it's fucking football. You know how it works. You slide in. You can't just stop. Momentum's going to carry you through. If anything, McCausland is the one that could have got out the way because he never put in a tackle.
Yeah,
he's the one. He could have got out of Dan Casey's path. Once Dan Casey slides in, he can't really control. He can't really avoid what's in front of him. I mean, McCausland could have. So I think it's ridiculous that people are saying this is. And I guarantee you, had Rangers been 3-0 up and this happened with 10 minutes to go, people wouldn't be crying about this. People wouldn't be saying, "Oh, robbery, red card this, red card that." The fact that Rangers got beaten this game is fact.
It's highlighted it.
I mean, we need to be fair. The referees get too much abuse in Scotland, man. They do.
No, they do. And you know what? See if this, like we said earlier, see if Dan Casey was a Rangers player, or say this was McCausland on Dan Casey. See if any Motherwell fan was suggesting this was a red, I would be like, what are they smoking? The game's gone if it's a red, you're right. Where can Dan Casey go? He's won the ball, he's pulled out with his studs, and he's ran into the guy. Because that's just momentum. If you played football, you know that's what happens.
Put it this way,
It's not like he won the ball though, and I mean 2-footed him.
I've seen a couple of Rangers fans say that this wasn't a sending off. I haven't seen any Motherwell fans say it was a sending off.
Yeah.
I don't know if that goes for anything.
I don't think it does go for anything, guys. But let's check the comments, and I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of Rangers fans in here.
I just don't see how this one's worse than Sterling.
No, it's not.
Sterling didn't win the ball. Sterling was late, and Sterling stamped on the guy with his studs. Dan Casey was early, so early that he was the only person going into the fucking challenge to win the ball.
No, I don't think Sterling should have been sent off. It was a yellow. But I think what didn't help Sterling is the fact it's late on.
I don't think Sterling should have been sent off, but I did say I could see why it was given.
Yeah, but do you not think if Sterling makes that tackle in the 30th minute, he doesn't send him off? I think he doesn't. I think that does factor in the refereeing
I
decisions.
don't think the Sterling tackle was a red card.
I think it was a yellow.
But the Sterling tackle was worse than this.
The Sterling
I mean,
tackle.
Sterling didn't win the ball and he was late. Dan Casey did win the ball. And
The Sterling tackle was a foul. This wasn't. So let's move on. Davy Hutchinson, channel legend, didn't and don't understand Brenda's stance, but then I think it's all down to put pressure on the refs. This ain't a Brenda Paul, brother, but anyway. Dundee Taylor says, our officials are the worst. We need ex-footballers as refs, etc. That's a red all week long.
no, there's this myth where the refs down in England are somehow great and they want them to come up here. You ever watch any Premier League games? The refs are shite down there.
The refs are shite everywhere, man. They are.
And I know that Celtic game, I know that the refs are getting a bad... Yeah, you know what? They got both penalty decisions wrong, but that kind of cancels each other out.
It's not Hart's fault today. Missed his.
And the Yang one was a red card. He fucking puts his studs in his face.
Yeah,
You can't do
we'll
that
talk.
in
We'll
football
talk about that at a later date. Ulster is British says that's a red all week long. Kai Rob says must see the highlights. Never saw it. See, I never saw it right at the game, but see, judging by the reaction, you would have thought he murdered him. Like, and where I was sitting, I don't even show a replay anyway. Like, but I thought he'd absolutely killed him. Stuart Balderston says I don't even understand how it's a discussion because for me that's a red, and it's especially a red if Sterling's was. See, no, the problem is though, it's not even like it went too far. They didn't even check it, didn't they not?
Don't believe so.
No, they didn't. I was there, I should know. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But I just don't get this. Josh Donaldson says, let's all do the Brenda. Ha ha, fuck the SFA. Mark Anthony says, we was robbed. That referee should have came on the pitch with a set of ladders instead of his whistle. Oh, and a few white stripes. Lenny Maguire says, was a dangerous tackle, could have easily been a red. Cross Carrier says, it should have at least received a free kick. That's the issue. For a challenge, it was potentially a straight red and not even been flagged as foul play to begin with is the bizarre thing. I think
People must be missing the fact that Dan Casey won the ball. How can Dan Casey can't help it if McCausland's in his way impeding him?
No, I remember a couple of years ago though, what's that guy that used to play for Celtic at the back? He tackled Kenny Miller and he sent him up in the air, but he won the ball. I think as long as you went... No, not Adger, it was like a Sivchenko or something. Not Sivchenko.
Sievchenko?
Aye, some name like that.
Danish guy?
Aye, he sent Miller up in the air about 7 years ago. I think if you win the ball, right, and as long as you don't like completely like 2 foot or studs on like the ankle of your opponent, I think as long as you win the ball, it shouldn't be a foul. But he barely touches him, man. It's a skim.
And he pulls his studs away. Is he supposed to turn invisible or fucking amputate his legs so that he doesn't make contact with McCausland? The way I see it, McCausland didn't go in for a tackle. So McCausland, if he wants, he's the one that's more able to get out the way. McCausland's the one that should be avoiding this because he's the one that didn't go in. He didn't leave his feet. And we're getting to the point now where we should just ban slide tackles. See if this is a red card, just fucking ban slide tackles. Make football basketball where it's a non-contact sport and if you touch your opponent, it's a foul.
Okay, James Fulton, this is an interesting one. No, he should be charged with common assault as it was really bad because it was a Glasgow Rangers player who got a right thump. Had it been the other way and wee Willie Cullen would have sent the whole Rangers team to Glasgow Sheriff Court on indictment, 8-day remand, low moss.
Catch yourself on, mate. Talking pure shite.
I just don't get it, man. Russell Muir, Sterling did something similar and got a ban, so why didn't Motherwell get the same? I don't even think they're anywhere similar, man.
But these people that are saying he should have been sent off because Sterling got sent off, they never thought Sterling's was a red card. So why can't they be consistent and say, no, I don't think this one's a red card either?
Yeah.
But no, it's, Sterling got sent off, so Dan Casey should as well. That's not how it fucking works.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I actually am kind of bewildered by how many people think Dan Casey. But you're right, I think if we were winning 4-0, if Rangers were winning 4-0 and this happens and McCausland gets straight up, no one even gives a shit about this. It's the fact that if Motherwell go down to 10 men in the first half... or in the
Rangers win the game.
Yeah, Rangers win it easy, right? Rangers win it easy, and maybe with that extra money they could buy me some throat medicine because my throat's hanging on here, but I don't get it. I think it's just people need to accept that Rangers were pish, and you can't just hang on to the fact that if this was a red, we would have won the game. Because absolutely, but you can't just manufacture reds out of nothing. Because if a Rangers player does this, man, and he gets sent off, we'd all be calling it corrupt and a disgrace, and rightfully so, because it's never a red. He wins the ball, man. He wins the ball.
So you're saying if a Rangers player got sent off this, you'd be raging?
Yes, of fucking course I would be. Yeah.
No, I completely agree.
But again, I'm not biased. I mean, Lundstrom, I remember he booted one of the Frankfurt guys in the head during the Europa League final and busted him open. And he didn't get sent off for that. But then you see, like, Yang get sent off for what he did. There needs to be consistency, right? And it even stems to the Benfica game. You can't have one fucking rule in one game and a different rule in another game. Freiburg, West Ham, guy's got his hand high as hell, hits it, no penalty. John Suter heads it onto his own arm, and his arm's in a natural position, by the way. I mean, how else is he supposed to jump? Is he supposed to jump like he's at the Glasgow Sheriff Court with fucking handcuffs on? I don't get it, right? There needs to be black and white rules. If you do this, if you do A, it's a penalty. If you do B, it's not a penalty. None of this, oh well, the European referee it differently. Cal McGregor, oh well, they're a wee bit more lenient in Scotland. No, it needs to be it needs to be the same, man, doesn't it?
100%.
No, how
Same
confusing is it though as a football fan? Where you're going into different competitions or different games and it's like different rules for certain teams. That's a fucking mess.
Maybe this Rangers Motherwell game's like a weird, I don't know. It could just be a weird match because a lot of people say the Rangers penalty was extremely soft and I thought it was a stonewall.
Yeah, it was an absolute stonewall.
So, like, I'm not... Maybe it's just one of those games.
Yeah, right, but see in F1, you don't have one race, right, where you do 58 laps, right? Then the next race, you do 5 laps upside down. No, you just do consistent racing. Other sports are the same. See in rugby, it's not like one game you get a try, right, and then you get your conversion, and another game, oh, there's no conversions this game. No, it's what you see it. Even though Scotland did get shafted in the rugby recently, but fuck rugby, fuck F1, and I'm sick of talking about referees. I just want football to be football.
The way I see it, right, Rangers deserved to lose, and they did lose. Motherwell were the better side, and they won. It's as simple as that. I don't think Dan Casey should have been sent off, and I think the fact that Rangers lost the opportunity to go 5 points clear is judging people's minds. We've seen a few Motherwell fans comment, and they didn't think it was a red. And you could argue, oh, well, of course they're not going to say that. Well, that's the reason I'm giving for the Rangers fans saying it was a red.
Yeah, I'd agree with that because obviously Rangers, when we lost this, I thought the league was not done.
How can you turn around and say, well, of course Motherwell fans ain't going to think it's a red because it's their player? Well, I'll just spin it around. Of course the reason Rangers fans are saying it's a red is because the tackle was on one of their players.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Next comment.
There was one Rangers fan though that's been supporting the club for 30 years that says it wasn't a red.
We'll get to him in a wee minute. Louism72 says attacking a referee while calling out Brendan for the same. You couldn't make it up. No, that better not be to us because we're not attacking the referee here. Maybe it's a generalised comment about the comment section, right? But who knows? Semi says there's no rules against fans having to go at a referee, so there's no hypocrisy here. You don't understand the issue, son. Don't comment on it. Oh, getting stuck in there.
As long as you're not sending death threats, like.
Yeah. No, I think referees are too protected. I do think they get criticised too much as well.
Like, see, every single referee pretty much gets accused of either drinking in the Rangers bars or drinking in the Celtic bars.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, see Willie Collum. Like, all the Celtic fans believe that he favours Rangers, and all the Rangers fans believe that he favours Celtic. Same with John Beaton. It's like, they all get accused of... There's like no... There's no such thing as like, oh, they all accept that one referee is favourable towards one club, and this other referee is favourable towards the other. Pretty much every single referee gets accused of being biased towards each club, depending on which fans accuse him.
Yep.
Could it just be that referees make mistakes and they're not biased towards certain...
Are they incompetent, like Brendan Rodgers said?
See if the officials were against one team so much, Celtic wouldn't win 13 out of 14 league titles.
Maybe they're against Rangers then. Oh, I'm only joking. Right, Bob Smudger says it was a naughty tackle, but hardly the Cantona-esque stupidity of Yang the following day. Do you agree with that?
100%.
Oh, hold on, you don't agree with that? He says it was a naughty tackle. You just said it wasn't a naughty tackle.
The pace he comes in, I mean, he wins the ball. I think if he doesn't win the ball, then he's in trouble.
Yeah, but he's went in with pace thinking McCausland's going to 50-50 me here. But in reality, McCausland doesn't do that. Anyway, Chris, this might be the guy you're on about. 67% of people either don't know the rules or just biased. Never a red, and that's from a Rangers fan. Casey's knee makes contact on the follow through. His studs never make contact with McCausland. Yeah, see, unless it's like a deliberate knee in the back or like the face. When do you ever see someone getting sent off for like a knee follow through? You don't. You never see that. Kind of just like penalties being given for head collisions at Easter Road. You just never see it happen.
Yeah, I mean, football is quickly risking turning into a non-contact sport.
No, it is. No, there's so see this. No, but if this was Celtic,
but we're getting to the stage now. See McCausland, we're getting to the stage now. If there's a ball to be won, you don't think if you're thinking you might not win it, we're getting to the stage now where it might be beneficial if you don't even attempt a tackle and you just try and impede the player that is tackling, so that when he makes a tackle, he collides with you.
Yeah.
Well,
no, you're right.
That's what McCausland done. I'm not saying he done it intentionally, but he didn't dive in, and but what he did do was he was in the path of Dan Casey's follow through, and Dan Casey ended up colliding with him. But if we're going to say this is a red card, then it's getting to a stage now where players aren't even going to attempt to tackle, and they're just going to try and position themselves into an area where the tackling player might end up following through with momentum in the hopes of causing a collision and getting. I cannot believe people are saying this is a red card. How fucking early can Dan Casey get to the ball before McCall? And people are saying he was late. I mean, what? Did you even watch it? How the fuck was he late? McCausland didn't even go for a tackle.
Sue Smith said that.
Sue Smith's a fucking spastic, man. Shouldn't he be in FITBA? Stick to the women's game where you maybe have 12 people watching it. What a joke. How can he be late? How the fuck can he be late?
I don't know. It's like being late to your own funeral. Non-existent. It just can't happen. He's not late. He gets. It's practically impossible to be early to a tackle, but he is.
I just don't get it. I honestly don't get it. How can he be late when he's the only person that made the attempt to
We're very passionate about that. Anyway, let's move on.
Well, no, I know, but she's just shooed in there. Shouldn't he be there? Go and give your opinion. Go and give your analysis on the women's soccer league or whatever, man.
No, but to say he was late, how the fuck's he late? But Dermot Gallagher's nodding his head in improvement. He shouldn't be there as well. He's a tool.
And someone actually commented that Dan Casey should have been sent off because of her opinion. Like, what? Yeah, I can accept Rangers fans saying that they think it's a red card, right? I can see why they think it's dangerous. You can accept that. I can accept people thinking that even though I totally disagree, I can accept people thinking that he should be sent off because the tackle could be deemed dangerous. But to deem it late, how can he possibly be late when McCausland didn't even go in for one? And if McCausland did go in for a tackle, McCausland would have been the guy that was late.
Yeah.
To be late, the ball needs to be gone and you need to be coming in with the tackle after. He fucking wins the ball. He's not late.
And to wrap it up,
dangerous. If you want to say dangerous, fair enough.
James Doran.
Reckless, fair enough.
Right, fair enough.
But late, not a chance.
James Doran says
it's impossible.
Right, for fuck's sake, is it impossible for me to get a word in as well?
It's actually impossible for him to be late.
I know.
Late for what? He's the only person who went in for the slide tackle. How can he be late?
He's always on time. No. Anyway, James Duran says absolutely no red card, and you can tell by the votes it's a Sevco-based channel. 4-leaf clover.
It's not a Sevco-based channel, but if people happen to think it's a red card, then they can think that. This is a democracy. I'm not going to delete the poll because the poll percentage didn't go the way I think it should. You know what? That's bullshit.
Yeah.
If 72% of people believe it's a red card, that is fine.
I said at the start of the video, right? Maybe there is more Rangers fans on this channel. I'm not sure, right? But I'm willing to bet there's a decent amount of neutrals that have voted for yes. Out of 1.6k votes. Now, are they Motherwell neutrals? No. But there's going to be Rangers fans and Celtic fans that have seen this and not even seen the incident and just went, I'm going to vote against him. Because that's how it works. That's how rivalry works, folks. Anyway, this video has been worked into the ground. He should never have been sent off. It was never well, he didn't get sent off.
I'll tell you, watch Super Scoreboard all week. Not one pundit thinks that was a red card.
Has they even talked about it?
Of course, it's a big talking point.
Is it? I forgot. I mean, I haven't heard it spoke about personally.
It's been a big talking point. I think the only one that says it was a red card actually was Kenny Miller, and I mean, that goes well. That goes for its saying.
Kenny, he got killed by Sevchenko, whatever his name is.
Now, Andy Halliday said it wasn't.
He's a Motherwell man though.
He's a Rangers man. Let's be real.
Season ticket holder. Anyway, guys, till next time. Dan Casey, he's a free man.